So here at Superbooth 2018 with a Klavis modular. How are you?
Hello, nice to see you. Welcome.
Yeah, so we've got some existing modules, a very new, recent module, and some completely unseen modules as well.
Indeed. In fact, we have our star product, which is a twin wave, well known from last year. Dual oscillator, can be LFO, audio, algorithmic based, with quantizer, many features, VCA, filters, noise, and so on. We use a scope just to make the demo. And then we have this mix, which is very recently available, which is a mashup between a pair of 2-to-1 mixers and a sequential switch, which allows you to do not only typical voltage processing, but also things like wave shaping or step sequencing and things like that.
Well, there's things like using them as offsets and then switching between them creates a sequencer.
Exactly.
There's a lot to be done if you choose to patch it that way.
Exactly. The nice thing about it is that the sequential switch is not just about sequencing with a trigger, but also pointing with the voltage, so selecting precisely which of the inputs you want to assign to the output.
And it has a unique feature as an attenuator where it's a switch as opposed to a center point, so you can turn it down.
Yes, get a request from a user of mine which says, what's annoying with attenuator is that, oh, do you find back the zero for sure, especially in live environments. So we devised a way to make it easy and nice, because everything is clickless, guaranteed. So when you go down, change polarity, and then go up, it's done in absolute silence when zero is zero.
Perfect. Well, I mean, you can't have big clicks and FUDs when you're live through a PA or...
Exactly, oh yes, exactly. So and since it is processor based, also you have nice features like a random selection and things like that. It has special, typical processor modes, but the flow is purely analog. DC coupled analog into out with analog switches digitally controlled by a processor.
Yeah. And to me, it's the essence of modular. It's in how it's patched. It's in how you choose to use it. So,
yes, tell me.
Yeah, so we've also got the other modules which are new for the show.
Yes, so new for the show, we have this Logic XT. We have the Logica gator, because it was mostly a simple logic module with a gator function, which was the unique thing. In the new version, all of that is still retained, but we have a whole new set of advanced logic capabilities. And also brand new in that product is that many things that were fixed now become user definable and can be stored automatically without any special settings or job.
Okay.
For example, the manual button now you can define if it's by default on or off. Things like gate to trigger conversion, you can now adjust the length in milliseconds precisely. There is a delay line in the digital sample and hold with up to 5,000 pounds deep to make long memory and things like that. So for people liking the logic, this one is just the same but in overdrive mode.
Yeah, brilliant. And then we've what looks like an envelope.
Indeed, that's our big next product. It's a quad envelope, which came again from a request from a close friends customers who said, okay, when I go live with envelope, either they are very simple to use and it cannot be messed up, and so you end up the show nicely, or they are very interesting and rich, and then you fuck up the whole show because you don't know where you are when you start touching them. And so he said, I want a thing with 3 requests. It has to be interestingly rich, complex, so it has to have presets. But the third request, and the most important one, is that to be still usable live in a real tweaking situation.
Yeah.
And so I think we've done quite well solving the equation of these 3 requests. Here we have 4 envelopes. You select which one you intend to edit, but the nice thing is that you can select more than once at once, even 4 of them if you want.
So you could globally make them all longer or all shorter.
People playing polyphonic, for example, is just really a boon. So when you select one of them, you can see that the small faders in the display adjust to the actual setting. So you don't have to guess. And beyond that, when your physical fader is not at the right location, you start moving it. An arrow tells you, an icon tells you which direction to go. And as soon as you grab the value, it lights on.
That's really helpful live.
So you know this is the real value and these are the knots.
Yeah, really, really helpful.
So you have ADSR, you have pre-delay, hold time, a punch between attack and decay, and the global time, which is the most important thing here. In a single setting, when being in the middle, all the values you've seen before are the real thing. But from then, just changing that slider all time-related setting of the envelope or envelopes selected become stretched or extended by a percentage. Going down to 1%, just a few milliseconds long. Going up to multiplied by 8. Means that your envelope can go from a few milliseconds to up to 4 minutes per segment. So very rich. We have many things like you can change the shape of every segment independently. You have the output level. You have then a list of all settings, like you see the transition, blah, 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 many things like that. And then we have the cycle mode. And in cycle mode, since we have this elastic timing notion, the machine will itself fit the envelope to the cycle time available. So it becomes like an LFO.
Perfect.
That's the idea. And to finalize, we have a matrix for CV, where that knob and the jacks all become like sources of CV. The knob is a virtual source. Any of them can be simultaneously sent to any destination in any quantity and any polarity. The same page becomes a CV page just by having this knob activated. You see, the setting, the manual setting, the CV setting. I see here a B, so it means jack B. In the middle, I have no modulation, and then down I go minus 100, top plus 100. In the end, in a single preset, you have almost 150 matrix points for the modulation.
So really powerful.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's rich, it's interesting, it's powerful, but all the basic things you want to have, you can have in one go. In the global menu, for example, it's the only menu where everything is done for you, because every of the 4 sliders are controlling a dedicated envelope, and you have this famous global time thing, so that in a single setting, you can drastically modify the envelope shape in all its duration and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a really nice, simple interface for a lot of control.
Yes, and also what we've done to go that way is that in the global menu you can hide advanced settings, so that they are just going away from the menu globally. In every place, a number of things will just disappear from sight. So when you are in live situation, there's no risk you mess up.
Yeah.
So you will not completely fuck up your performance.
Yeah, which is key. So then that leads us on to the third new module as well.
The very last one, that will also be available before the end of the year, is a dual capability thing. First is a calibrator and transposer. For people using especially analog VCOs that are not perfectly calibrated, first you have a calibration session where you connect them, all 4 of them, one by one, separately. When calibration is done, then start the fun. It means you do not touch your oscillators for the global coarse tuning. Everything happens here. You select which oscillator to transpose. You modify by semitone. You modify by octaves. Here again, you can select more than one at once, transposing all of them together. You can say a quantize on which, okay, not those. Those now will blink, so I know blink or reverse blink which ones have the quantizer activated, and I can just continue my transpose thing. Beyond that, just by holding the knob and turning this, I can adjust portamento duration for that channel.
Okay.
Glissando duration for that channel, both at once, so you can make slopes on the steps of the glissando itself. And when all of that is done, transposition, etc., you can store. So L and S means load store. So I store the results in number 2, and I load the thing from number 4. And that's it.
Yeah, so again, another great performance-orientated module.
Yes.
That's just going to help keep everything else in check and in tune.
Especially people wanting to play some tonal music. Imagine you have 4 oscillators from 4 makes, 4 brands. Try to adjust them live.
Yeah, exactly. So, roughly when can we expect these? Mixwitch is out now.
Mixwitch is available in shops right now. Logica is the very next one, should be in shops in something like around 8-9 weeks. This one is for end of September, and the last one too. Don't know exactly which one will come first, but they will roughly around that time.
Okay. And rough prices for the 3 new ones?
The good news is that the Logica is exactly at the price of the previous ones, which is in euro is close to 120.
Okay.
The big envelope thingy will be below 300.
Okay.
And the calibrator transposer will be below 200.
Okay,
all that in euro.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, gents.